Hey y'all, what's up? I am back and we are going to do a massive book haul today. So here's the deal. I'm supposed to be on a book buying ban, but I make an exception for this one thing that happens twice a year in my area. There's this thing called the BNA. It stands for the Visiting Nurses Association, and they have this huge rummage sale in my area like twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. And so it's fall right now. They just had their rummage sale. So of course I went, and this is where I get a load of books for like $1 each or something like that. They sell them for really cheap. And that's, you know, that's the exception that I give myself, okay, for these book buying bans. Okay? That's my excuse. Don't come for me. So I have my whole bag full of books that I got, as well as just a couple other books that I bought like a month before this rummage sale happened. So I'm going to go through some of these. Like 2 of these books out of the whole haul are like books I bought new, and the rest I bought used. So without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Alrighty, the first stack of books that I have to share with you are all romances. So the first book that I bought, this is one of the books that I bought full price. This is Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. I read Delilah Green Doesn't Care in September, and I absolutely loved it. So I got the second book. I already read this book and I loved it as well. I gave the first book in the series a 5, and I gave this one a 4, like 4.5-ish. The chemistry was definitely there. It's just I didn't love the characters as much as I loved Delilah and Claire in the first book. I still had a really fun time with this book. Next is the infamous Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I haven't read this book yet. I'm dying to get to it, but I'm waiting for the audiobook from my library, so it's gonna be a while because everybody is reading this. Everybody and their mother is reading this book. Next, I'm gonna hold up a couple books because these are all books in a series. I hope you guys have heard of the Four Horsemen series. I found them, like the original covers, the indie covers, on eBay, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a sign. So they are used, but they look in like practically new condition. So the first one is Pestilence, and like I said, these are the indie covers. Next is War, Famine, and Death. I normally hate books with like real people on them. I normally like the cartoon people on the covers. I'm gonna be honest, I hate the traditionally published covers of the Four Horsemen series. Like, they are just like so ugly to me. And these are very aesthetic, in my opinion. I really love these. So, not me just like looking at the cover. But anyways, we're just gonna move on. I got the Four Horsemen series, and it was honestly my greatest find I've ever, probably will never be able to top that find. I found it on eBay. Isn't that so random? Anyways. Okay, so on to the massive amount of books that I got from the V&A. I have to be honest with you, it's kind of a lot. I filled up a whole bag. This is empty, by the way, but like one of these whole like huge like shopping bags. Filled up one of those with books. Anyways, we are just going to get right on into it. I kind of organized them in different piles. 2 piles, hardcover and paperbacks. So we're just gonna get right on into it. I think I'm gonna start with the paperbacks because I like paperbacks. The first 3 books I'm actually gonna share with you are, they don't fit into any category really. Like, they are just books about making cocktails. So, and like alcoholic drinks. So this first one is I Don't Know Much About Wine, But I Know What I Like by Simon Woods. And it's just like a guide to wine. It's like really cute. It's like the size like of my hand. It's like small. It's like smaller than my face. But yeah. So this is like a guy who has run the world's largest wine tasting. And he's a regular correspondent to Wine Magazine. So he knows his stuff about wine, and he just shares like, if you like this wine, like you should try this wine, and oh, this wine pairs with this whatever. I'm not a wine girly, but I'm trying to be. So this is going to help me. Next, I got this cute little book. It's called Girl Drinks: 101 Cocktails for Every Occasion. And I just thought this was so cute. This is like totally something that I would like, because I'm gonna be real with you. I am very much like the stereotypical girly who likes a fruity drink. I don't like anything like a gin and tonic or like an old fashioned. That is like totally not my style. I like a fruity pinky drink. You know what I mean? Something with a little fruitiness and like it just tastes good. Okay? Okay. And then I got this other book. It's from GQ apparently. It's just called Drinks, the Cocktail Collection for Discerning Drinkers. And I assumed that this would have more traditional drinks, not just like girl drinks, just like traditional drinks to serve at parties and stuff. So I thought it would be good to have in case I decide to host any kind of party or something. And it's all organized by like what kind of alcohol you are putting into your mixed drink, which I think is very helpful because I don't know what pairs with what. It's not, if you can't tell, I don't really drink a lot. And when I do, it's a fruity drink. Something easy. So that is the first little stack of books. And next, so this is Maeve in America, Essays by a Girl from Somewhere Else. So from what I understand, Maeve is obviously not from America, and it's just like her hot takes on America, like living in America, being not an American, like a foreigner. It says if Tina Fey and David Sedaris had a daughter, she would be Maeve Higgins, which is the author of this book, Maeve Higgins. So it's just a collection of essays, and I really like essay collections, so I thought this would be a fun time. Next is a book that, I'm gonna be honest, I've actually never heard of, and I'm surprised because this author is very popular in like my circles from what I've seen on TikTok and like Booktube and stuff like that. But this is Last Night in Montreal by Emily St. John Mandel, which, if you don't know, she wrote Station 11, she wrote Sea of Tranquility, she wrote The Glass Hotel. Like, these are very popular booktube books. And I'm like, how have I never heard of this one? I'm assuming this is like her debut novel. I'm excited to have this in my collection. Next is, I feel like a classic. I'm gonna confidently say this is a classic. This is Girl with a Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier. I hope I pronounced that right. Don't come for me if I pronounced it wrong. This I have just seen everywhere, and I work at a library and people take this book out all the time. So I'm just like, I want to know what the hype is about. I want to be in on the secret of this book. So I picked it up for like literally $1. Next is a book that I mostly picked up because of Books and Lala. She read this and I'm pretty sure she loved it. I know she definitely talked about this book on her channel, but this is Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widows by Bali Kaur Jaswal, and it has the Reese's Book Club up in the top. So I was like, Reese endorsed this and also Books and Lala endorsed this, like I have to read this. So yeah, I'm very excited to get on into this one. Next is a book that I have heard of, but I don't know much about. And it looks like I have to clean this. It has like some dirt on it. But anyways, this is Paradise by Toni Morrison. And this also has Oprah's book club in this little sticker here. I have yet to read a Toni Morrison. I started The Bluest Eye a while ago, and then I put it down because I realized that it needed like my full attention, and I was reading it at the beginning of the semester, and that was just like a bad time to be starting a book like that. So I was like, I will pick this up at a different time. Toni Morrison, amazing author from what I've heard, very famous. So I decided to pick up Paradise as well. It is a well-loved copy from what I can see. And yeah, I'm excited. This book honestly just caught my eye, and that's like the whole reason I picked this up. So this is the cover. It is Home Fire by Camilla Shamsi. It says winner of the 2018 Women's Prize for Fiction. I didn't even notice that the first time I picked this up. But anyways, it sounded really interesting from the back. I'm not going to read you the whole back synopsis, but I thought it was really interesting. After I saw the cover, I read the synopsis and I was like, oh, that sounds good. So I picked it up for $1. Another book that I've heard a lot of things about, and I know that this is like a movie now apparently, is This Is Where I Leave You by Jonathan Troper, author of One Less Thing Before I Go. I've definitely heard of that one, and I've heard of this one, but have I read any of them? No. But I picked it up. It's a cool cover, and the back really intrigued me, the synopsis. So I was like, to heck, it's $1. Now this book I'm very, very excited about. This is Euphoria by Lily King. I read Writers and Lovers by Lily King, and I absolutely loved it. Like, it was so good. So I want to read more of her work, and this is, I believe, her debut novel, I'm gonna say, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's look on the inside. Oh, there's so many reviews on the inside. Anyways, I don't think this is her debut novel because on the inside it lists a couple other things that she wrote. But anyways, beautiful cover, and I've already read from the author, so why not pick up another book from the author? All right, we're getting to the bottom of the paperback stack. This is Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I hope I pronounced that right. Please, like I said, don't drag me for mispronouncing names. I will definitely look up how to pronounce her name. This book is like, oh my gosh, it's like infamous. It's so infamous. So I decided to pick it up. It looks rather new for like a used book, to be honest. Like, there's not a ton of like wear on it, and I was like, that's kind of awesome. So I picked it up, and I'm very excited to get into this one. I've heard such great things about this author, so I was like, yes. And lastly, this is one that I have literally seen at the bookstore millions of times, and like picked it up off the shelf and been like, yes, I need this, and then put it back on the shelf because I was like, no, do I need to be spending that much money on a book? And then I found it at the V&A for $1. So I was like, this was fate. All right, so the camera cut me off. So I don't know where I was cut off at. But anyways, the book that I found that was like serendipitous that I found it is You Exist Too Much by Zaina Arafat. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. Again, please forgive me. And this one, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about, because it very much fits into like the current climate that we're in, not to like mention really sad things, but the author is Palestinian, and I was like, this is like amazing. I would love to support a Palestinian author. So here we are. I was not in focus throughout that whole thing. I apologize if I wasn't in focus in that last clip. I didn't notice until I finished filming that last clip. So here we are again. The next stack is large hardbacks, but ironically, the top book on the stack is a paperback. This is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Niang. This is just like an obscenely large paperback, so I put it in my hardcover stack because I was like, it should have been a hardcover at this point. It's so large. But anyways, I've heard nothing but good things about this series. Meg with Books on BookTube absolutely loves this book and the sequel, but I think she recently read the last book in the series and was like, I'm so disappointed. But we're just gonna ignore that and pretend that the whole series is good. Well, I'll find out for myself, you know? I'll find out for myself. I found this collection of short stories. It's Life Ceremony by Sayaka Murata. This is the same author as Convenience Store Woman, which I ironically have not read, but I've heard such amazing things about, so I decided, well, this is a nice way to kind of get to know the author's writing by getting several different stories in this short story collection. So I decided, why not? I'm very excited for this one. Sally Rooney blurbed this. That's so random. But I love Sally Rooney, so I hope I love this. The next book that I got was also because of Books and Lala's recommendation. And it looks really new, like really, really new for a used book. This is When You Trap a Tiger, Some Stories Refuse to Stay Bottled Up. That's what it says on the bottom. This is by Tay Keller. And I really love the cover of it. It's like so beautiful with like the colors and everything. Like it's very vibrant. So yeah, I simply picked this up because Books and Lala recommended it. I don't know the synopsis. So sorry. Next is a book that I actually read the synopsis for at the V&A sale. This is Birdsong in a Time of Silence by Stephen Lovat. And this is such a beautiful cover. Like the scenic, oh my gosh, what is this called? Skyscape? I don't know what I'm saying. The cover is just really pretty though, to me, in my opinion. And this, I'm gonna read you a little bit. As the world went silent in lockdown, something else happened. For the first time, many of us started becoming more aware of the spring sounds of the birds around us. Birdsong in a Time of Silence is a lyrical, uplifting reflection on these sounds and what they mean to us. So just by that, I was like very intrigued by this because I feel like I haven't read a book so far that kind of talks about the pandemic. I'm very excited about this one. Next is a really thick book, which I am like, why did I pick this up? It's so thick. It is almost 500 pages, but I'm gonna read it. I promised myself I'm gonna read it, okay? This is My Year Abroad by Chang Rae Lee. It's a Pulitzer Prize finalist is what it says on the cover. And I've seen this book everywhere. Like, oh my gosh, so many people have been talking about this. And I'm very excited to get into it. The cover is also very colorful. And I'm very excited to read this. Next is a book that I was like very surprised to find. And I was like, wow, I've been literally looking at this book for so long, like considering like, should I buy it? Should I not buy it? Like what? I finally bought it at the V&A for literally like $2. This is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. It says, a novel of the plague. I'm very excited about this one. The only book I've read by Maggie O'Farrell was her memoir, I Am, which I thought was outstanding. So I obviously know that I like her writing. So let's just see how I like her storytelling. Okay, last two books. So I love memoirs. That should be known. And this is a memoir. This is The Family Outing by Jessie Hempel. And I don't know much about it. I just know that this is like a fairly newer book, at least from what I can tell. And the inside sounded very interesting. It sounded like something that I could relate to. So I picked this one up. Lastly, I'm very excited about this one. This is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I read his other book. I'm blanking on the name. I have to find the name of this book. The Maidens. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, so I read The Maidens by Alex Michaelides and I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people like kind of didn't like it and kind of ragged on it, but I liked it. So I'm interested to see his debut novel, The Silent Patient, and what that has in store for me. All right, y'all, so that was my really large book haul. You can see some of the books. This is most of the books stacked up over here. Oh. And yeah, so I'm not going to hold up any of the books for you because that would be horrible. I'm not that strong. But thank you so much for watching. I'll have all my socials and my Goodreads and Storygraph and everything linked down below. Don't forget to follow me there and be friends with me on Goodreads. I love seeing what other people are reading on their Goodreads. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.